They are different. So lead and follow and breakdowns can be the same thing. So a breakdown can have lead and follow. Lead and follow can be in a breakdown, but they are two separate things. A breakdown is a pose between two keys. You have your key poses, your most important poses in your animation. And then a breakdown is how do you get from pose A to pose B? So a simple example of this is if I have a head turn, my head is this way. I turn my head over there. I've got my two keys, 1, 2. The breakdown describes how it gets there. Does it arc downwards? Does it go upwards? It's the keys in the middle. And the reason why we differentiate these are not just in between keys. We have this special term breakdown, is because we are breaking down the motion. We are trying to break it down to its principles and its core. If we just go from here to here and let the computer do the work, you're just going to get that. And those are what we typically call in-betweens or just tweened motion. Now, I will put a big asterisk caveat here. All terminology in animation is very fluid. So depending on which country you're in, which studio you're in, even just which animator you're talking to within the same studio, a lot of people have different terminology for different things. So for example, breakdowns are sometimes called in-betweens. It's the keys in between your main keys. And that's another term, keys. We can go on a whole talk on like the semantics of it. But in essence, you want to just think of breakdowns as your way of describing how a character moves from point A to point B. And thinking through that motion. You want to make sure you are applying the motion and not just letting the computer do the work for you. So that's a breakdown. Lead and follow is the concept that when we move part of our body or our body in general, or anything in general really, something is going to lead the action and something is going to follow. So going back to our head turn example, if I go here to here, typically when you turn your head, you're going to twist it slightly. So if I turn my head naturally like this, you'll notice that my chin moves first. My head is straight, it's at an angle, and then it straightens out again. So my chin is leading the action. It leads, my head follows the top of my head here. Now, this can be for any motion. So if I twist my body like this, like that, the leading force is going to be the shoulder. You can see how my shoulder goes up first, then my elbow, then my body twists. So my shoulder is leading, my arm is following, my chest is following, but my arm is still leading my chest. So shoulder, arm, chest in this case. Now, if you go the other way, let's say you're doing a punch, is going to be the leading action is the chest. You can see that's leading the action going this way, and then the arm follows. On top of that, you then add the principle of not just following action, but contrasting action. So now as I'm about to punch, instead of just doing this, where my chest goes and then my hand follows, I can do this, where my chest is leading the action, my hand and arm are contrasting the action and then following. So it just kind of adds another level to it. Now, you could call that anticipation. It is a form of anticipation. But it's just this concept that not everything moves all at once and just slides across the screen evenly. When we have that kind of motion where, let's say I'm going to go from here and I'm just going to go there, it's not interesting because everything feels tied together. It's like taking an action figure and just sliding across the screen. Lead and follow gives you that nice visual interest. And if you change it up, so here my body is leading, then my head is leading. And in this case, the top of my head, but I could also lead with my chin, or I could lead with the shoulder. And like, this is a big motion just to exaggerate, but it could just be a little like you have the character nudge their shoulder like that, and that leads into whatever they're about to do. So I hope that makes sense. I hope it clears it up. Again, the lead and follow and breakdowns, they kind of go hand in hand, because when you put a breakdown, that's one of the key things that you're thinking of is how does something lead the action? How does it follow? So that you can make it interesting the way it moves through an action. But they are not the same thing. They just kind of go together.